Good morning, y'all. I'm grateful. That's how I feel this morning. I'm grateful. Good morning. Tell me how you're feeling this morning. Good morning. As y'all sign in, I want you to give me one word that describes how you're feeling this morning. Mine is grateful. My word is grateful. Good morning, everybody. Listen, as you're signing in, I want you to tell me, I want you to give me one word that describes how you're feeling this morning, okay? Good morning, everybody. Good morning, friend in Australia. I've never been there before. Can y'all book me over there? I want to come. Friend said, calm. Hey, friend. Yes, for the refreshed. I love that. Love that so much. I'm so happy for you. So many people don't get to feel like that ever. um, Good morning, everybody. Tell me how you feeling. I don't see it on TikTok. How y'all feeling? I want to know how you, what is one word that describes how you're feeling this morning? Friend said, Noel. Hi, Noel. Says reflective. Love that. Love that. Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Excited. Come on. I love it. Grateful. Happy birthday, friend. Happy birthday. My mama said I had to put cousin friend on you because she don't let me call grown people by that just friend. She gonna say you not my little friend. Good morning, everybody. My mama cousins and stuff, we used to have to say cousin. One of her cousins' name was Bodie, Leroy. Roy Lee, I'm sorry. And somebody else, we had to say cousin or uncle. So do not play with her. That is not your cousin. Good morning, everybody. 64 is such a blessing. I really appreciate y'all sharing these things with me. Good and happy birthday to you, friend, that turned 64 on Saturday. Good morning, everybody. I want to know how you're feeling. Hey, Altovis. Hey, Janelle. How you feeling this morning, sis? Good morning. Grateful. Yeah, I'm feeling grateful too. So I think a lot of us are in the same mood for the most part. And I'm loving that for us. I really do. Optimistic. Yeah. I can say I have a little bit of that going on too. Me and Brandon are exploring a new business venture that I will share with you guys soon. So I'm just asking God to meet us there. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Listen, I want to come on this morning and just chat with you guys this morning about being unapologetically you. You know, I'm doing good, Janelle. I'm doing good. I'm busy. I got a lot going on, but I feel like God has graced me to do it. If that makes any sense. So I'm just navigating this newness with wisdom and prayer, and I'm just taking it slow right now. So I don't know who this for in my spirit this morning, but it's okay to be a snail. It's okay to be a snail, friend. It's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to be the fastest in the race. Be a snail. My husband told me this morning, well, we don't have to do everything at once. I said, you know what? Thank you for that reminder. And now I feel led to share that. Thank you for asking me that, Janelle, because that's for somebody. You can be a snail and be content within your shell. I'm not ready yet. You don't got to feel no pressure to get to going and get to moving, and everybody got their alarm set for 4 a.m. Yours may not go off till 7. Do what you do with the hours God has graced you with, how He's graced you, the strength He's graced you with for this season. Maybe in the next season, you know what I'm saying? You'll be able to be a 4 a.m., 5 a.m. girly. But if you're not, it's okay. Be a snail. Be a cute snail. Who gonna check you? You know what I mean? Like, so Janelle, that's my thing right now. I'm just being a cute snail, loving it, not letting the societal pressure of having to do the things, be all the things, show up in all the places. No, because when you carry certain things, you can't be everywhere. Okay, I'm talking to somebody this morning. Quick, when you carry certain things, you can't be in relationship with everybody. You can't be into everything. You just can't. And sometimes that means you have to take a step back. And like this person said on YouTube, I think it was Noel, you got to be reflective. You take some time. You know what? I don't even mean to go here, but maybe this is why we need to talk about being unapologetic about who we are. Because sometimes I feel like when we're not moving as fast as the world and other people, especially people in close proximity to us, it makes us feel like we're being left behind when we're really just becoming. You're just, you know what I mean? This is a lot of newness for my life right now, right? I'm not used to going to Walmart. Somebody like, can I take a picture? You know? And you may not be used to, running the office or being over people or, just stuff like that. Stuff that comes with life. You may not be used to being a mommy. You may be a new mommy, right? You may be adjusting to being a wife. You may be adjusting to being in the role that you're playing, whatever it is at work. You can be a snail. You can be, I don't know who needs to hear this today, but I feel in my spirit it's for the people on here this morning. You can be a snail, friend, and be a cute one. Okay? Thank you, friend. I appreciate that. Come on, Mississippi. That's where I'm at this morning, friend. Sitting in my dining room. I'm in Mississippi. But yeah, y'all, I think a lot of times we feel so much pressure to show up in a way that is inauthentic to who we truly are. And I'm so grateful. I feel like the Holy Spirit had you to ask me that, Janelle, so this live could go the way that he wanted it to go. I'm so grateful for you this morning. Listen, I feel like a lot of times life feels really hard. Friendship feels really hard. Our jobs and all the things that we do, they feel, thank you, friend. They feel, I got these from Nigeria. Sometimes things feel really difficult, right? And challenging because I think we're trying to show up in a way that is inauthentic to how we are. It's inauthentic to how we are. I'm not a person, I'm a morning person, but I'm not a morning person who is out and ready to go at 6 a.m. I can be, don't get it twisted. Now, if I need to do it, I can do it. But I like to start my day slow. I like to start things slow and then progress into my day. You know what I mean? And I get way more done when I pace myself. You know what I mean? Now my husband, he likes to crash in the morning. He likes to go boop, 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 boop. And 1 or 2 o'clock, he's taking his breath. Or he's starting to slow down and he could do more or whatever on the latter end of the day, things like that. But I prefer to pace myself in the morning, and then by 3 or 4 o'clock, I'm done for the day, whatever that looks like for me. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes we feel the need to show up, and I can't show up how Brandon shows up. I'm not graced to do that. You can't show up how Camille shows up. You can't show up how, who this over here, Elsa show up. You can't show up how Shannon show up. And I really feel like I am not a practicing attorney, friend, but my brothers will beg to differ. Because we argue a lot, me and my brothers, actually. Love them, but I always have a debate with my brothers. Well, let me just say this. I always bully my brothers. That's what I should say. And I feel like a lot of times, and I just wanted to put this to somebody's spirit this morning. Sometimes everything feels very challenging. And I'm saying this to you. If you have your journal, if you write in the morning, write this down, right? Sometimes things feel hard, not because they're inherently hard, but because I'm making it hard by showing up in a way that is inauthentic to who I truly am. You know what I mean? And I love this comment somebody said, we just got to appreciate ourselves from time to time. Take time to appreciate. I love how I'm wired. Thank you, friend, for the gift. Thank you. I really appreciate that on TikTok. Thank y'all. Thank you so much. Thanks for the gifts and the super chat on YouTube. I'm still getting used to things over here, but I'm really grateful for y'all and y'all support. Thanks. Thank you for that gift. Listen, and I just want to challenge you today to remember that it's okay to be a snail. You don't have to start looking like, I told a friend the other day, because she was like, I want this to look like yours. She's talking about arms and booty, body, all the stuff that us girls, we just love, right? And I said, you can do it, but you just have to start. This is for somebody this morning. My God. You can do whatever you want to do. You just have to start. Because when I first started, I didn't know that I would end up looking how I'm looking. And I still don't know how I look in 5 years after I've continued to take care of myself, right? But here's the thing. I will say this, prioritize myself in my physical fitness. Hey, Charles Tucker. Hey, Tatey. But one thing I've done is realize it comes with consistency. The things that you want come with consistency. Just be consistent. And then before you know it, you'll wake up and your savings account will be beyond anything you could have ever fathomed, right? You'll have the properties you wanted. You will have the things that you desire. You will have it because you've just been consistent. A lot of times, God is just trying to build the due diligence that we need to maintain the things that we're asking for. So he's not denying you, but you're delayed because you don't have the consistency and the follow through to maintain what it is that you want. So you're already living and authentic to what you really. Let me tell you this. For what you want, let me ask you a question. For those of you here, right? Church folks say, under the sound of my voice. For those of you here, when you think about the life that you really want, right? If you're not already living in it, for those of you who are living in the life you want, love that for you. I mean, I really do. I think it's amazing, right? But for those of us who may not be where we want to be yet, okay, I'm talking to us, myself too. When you think about what you want, are you living inauthentic to what that looks like? Because you got to start. And you may have to start as a snail. You may have to start as a caterpillar. Okay. But you got to start. It's not enough to imagine it. And don't think for a moment that you're just imagining things or you just want things. God literally drops ideas and things in your heart and in your mind to free you so that you can live in the financial freedom and the things that you really want. You know, it's not happenstance. Your thoughts are, your thoughts are not his thoughts, and neither are our ways his way. Don't get me wrong. But listen, God is so intentional with, you'll just be like, I wanna a lemonade stand. I don't know, think about doing me a lemonade stand. It seems so crazy. It seems so far-fetched. It seems like whatever. I want to sell shoes. I don't know. I just think about like whatever. I think I want to create a space for Black women in tech. I just want to create a group. And you would just think it's just like like the most random thing. And it is literally heaven giving you, do you understand? A blueprint. It is heaven giving you a signal to move on to something. One of my friends reached out to me a few weeks ago, being very overwhelmed with motherhood. She has more than 2 children, all small children. And she's like, you know what? I just feel so overwhelmed and I just don't feel like there's a space for us and, all these things. I'm like, why don't you create it? What if God is allowing you to experience this so that you can create it? And I think sometimes we don't realize that God is trying to birth something in our problems, that there's a purpose in the problem that you're having, if that makes any sense. But you got to get past the complaining. You got to get past the trying to keep up with the Joneses. You don't need 3 cars. I don't know who that's for in my spirit this month. You can only drive one at a time. Who are you quit trying to prove that you're rich to broke folks? Because a lot of people, they got a lot of stuff. But if you go look at them on paper, they're doing a whole lot to maintain. Robbing Peter, they're paying Paul. They're robbing Paul, paying Peter. They maxed out their card. And I'm not saying, some people really do got it. Don't get me wrong, because I'm not one of them people who think people ain't got it. Okay? But what I'm saying is there are a lot of people who are trying to perpetuate wealth who are not really wealthy. And a lot of us who trying to keep up with people who are quote unquote wealthy, you richer than them. You got happiness when you go home. I'm trying to tell you something. I've been exposed to a lot of things. But a lot of us, you think people got more than you, and actually you trying to keep up with people that you think got more than you. You richer than them. Because you wise with your money. You smart with your money. With the money you have, you actually prioritize it. You invest it. You tell it where to go. You know what I'm saying? They may make $1 million, but with your $100,000, you are having a better turnout than they are, but you feeling like you got to keep up with them. No. And then some of us are just richer. And when I say richer, I don't mean just monetary. I'm talking about in wisdom, in love, in connection, in relationships with people. Like, you just richer. Hey, Lulu. I had to double take it, your name. Good morning, Lulu. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations on your new building. I'm so proud of you, Lulu. That's amazing, especially at your age. Like, that's incredible. Yeah, so I just wanted to come on and encourage y'all this morning and to remind you that, whatever it is that you want, the things that you're desiring, God will give you the desires of your hearts, but faith without works is dead. Okay, you got to be consistent. My husband says you got to work it like a job. And if you already have a job, what does it look like for you to also prioritize the things that you want? How does this job fund the dream? How do I, you know what I mean? And you can just start small. You don't have to start, be a snail. Be a cute snail. Go fill your brows this morning. Put your look concealer under there. Put your mascara on going outside. Be a cute snail. You can move slow as long as you're moving. You understand what I'm saying? I'm for real. And I just feel it in my spirit this morning. Listen, there's a new episode of Friendfusion dropping this morning, and it's called Unapologetically Me. And I want you guys to come to my Patreon community and watch it. It is with the one and only Geraldine Lake. Geraldine is a comedian. I know a lot of you are familiar with her content because she has millions of followers. But in this episode, Geraldine talks about how important it is, especially as a woman in comedy, to be true to who you are. And that's why I came on here this morning to talk about being unapologetic, right? But she talks about how important it is to be true to you, true to who you are, especially as a black woman in her 30s who is not married. And dating and all of these things. She talks about how I posted a commercial that a lot of you have responded to, where she was expressing how oftentimes men are okay with her until they realize she don't need a provider. They are okay with her till they realize there are some things that she can just handle for herself and on her own. That's not to say that she does not need a man, but a man is not required for her to be happy. And, so I love that. I love it so much. And I think it is so important as women. I know that I'm talking to a lot of women, that we live unapologetic as ourselves. You may not be married next week or tomorrow when you have standards. You know what I'm saying? When you have real standards. You ain't gonna be as fast as everybody else. I am preaching this morning better than y'all said amen. I'm not just talking about dating. I'm talking about in general. When you have integrity, when you have standards, when you have boundaries, when you have morals, when you have values, you're not going to move as fast as everybody else because you will not be the person who will compromise things. You get what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking to somebody this morning better than y'all saying amen. Sorry, y'all. I'm doing well this morning, friend. I'm glad you needed to hear this, Clarissa. I'm so glad. And thank you for watching from YouTube. I really appreciate that. Y'all, I've been struggling with my YouTube for years, and now my YouTube is starting to turn. So that even goes to, I used to didn't have 2 people on YouTube, and this morning it's over 130 people right here. Yesterday or another day, I had like 150 something on live on YouTube. Why am I telling you this? All you got to do is start and be consistent. I was struggling at 8,000 subscribers for a long time. I had given up on it. Now I'm at over 24,000 subscribers. But how much further would I be if I didn't even give up for at least 2? I gave up for at least 2 years. I just started back this year. Within the last few months, 6 months or so, I've gained all of these thousands of people over there on YouTube. Does that make any sense? So even that, like, be consistent and don't let things like views, don't let things like, because I've just gotten away from all of that. Especially in this content space, I know a lot of people are posting content. You trying to share your business, or you're trying to build a business online or whatever. Don't let that little stuff bother you. And don't let I love to say this, don't let the 2 or 3 people who don't like it or don't share it keep you from seeing the 200 people that did. That did show up, that did watch, that did click on. Stay encouraged. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. All right. Before I go, I got about 15 minutes. I want to talk about friendship. We've talked about being unapologetic. I want you guys to join the Patreon community. Why? Because the Patreon community is for people who are addicted to getting better like me. It is for people who may have started this journey of just trying to be a better person. You're trying to show up differently. You're trying to be responsible, accountable, empathetic. And you just want to be around like-minded individuals who believe in the value of relationship. The Lord has blessed me to lead a group of people in my Patreon community on that journey. What does that look like? It looks like a very beautiful community of people who prioritize self-help, right? You get early and exclusive access to episodes of Friendfusion when you join the Patreon community. You also have a 24-hour group chat, so we just be kicking in there and carrying on. And we also meet twice a week live. So if you're struggling with connection and community because you're so busy, you don't really have a lot of time to meet people or like get into community with people, this will be great for you. Like tomorrow night, we'll meet and we'll recap today's episode that is releasing. On Thursday, we're in a book club where we'll be sharing and reviewing chapters 6, 7, and 8 of The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. This is a beautiful community and it is a necessary community. I think a lot of people do a very good job at investing in a lot of things, but we don't invest in relationship. And life moves at the speed of your relationships. And so if you need some more support, you feel like, you know, this is something that will be good for you. I feel like it will be good for you. I encourage you to come into the community today. It is $10 a month. I really appreciate y'all support. If you enjoy my content in any way, from the morning content, from the everyday content, my takes on friendship to Friendfusion, the episodes have blessed you. I encourage you to support Friendfusion because I'll be honest with y'all, I have not yet made it to the point where I have these major sponsors and all the things. So I use Patreon to fund Friendfusion. That is my truth. And I'm so blessed to have a community of people who believe in the vision that God has given me. To everybody who watches and shares and likes my content, thank you for believing in the vision that God has given me. Thank you for affirming me. Thank you for sharing it with your friends and your family and your loved ones. Thank you. Because it's really hard to show up in this space consistently every day. So for you all to affirm me and let me know that what I'm doing matters, it means a lot to me. Okay. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. Before I get off, I'm going to take about 3 friendship questions. Let's talk. Throw me a question. I'm ready. You want my take? I want to know. I got you. Thank y'all. I really appreciate you guys. I can't read it. I'm struggling with YouTube, y'all. I see some stupid stuff on here. Oh, your name actually foolish. Got it. Okay. It ain't any real questions on here. Hey, y'all. I have a friend who is with me when I'm sad, but when I'm happy, she's upset with me. Who, child? Okay. And let me tell you the revelation the Lord gave me in terms of that. I had a person in my life that I would always share good news with because we were in close proximity, and I was excited about always sharing good news with her, right? But there was a moment where I shared good news with her, and she literally turned red. And it made me so uncomfortable. And I had to continue on doing whatever I was doing because I had to continue doing what I was doing. But I was so distracted. I remember I was doing this opening set for something. And I was on camera talking. And I had to start over like 7 times. Y'all hear me talk every day. Talking is not an issue for me. Reading is not an issue for me unless I ain't got these glasses on. But YouTube real small. Anyway. But listen. And I had to come to grips with myself. I thought about that experience. Something else happened. Something else good happened. Something else big was happening. This has been like 3 years ago when YourFriendTrin had become a thing and I was getting opportunities and stuff like this. And so, long story made short, girl, I went to call her and God literally said to me, why are you calling her when you know she's not going to be happy? As long as you broke, as long as you down and out. I just talked about this yesterday. As long as you got marital issues, as long as you got job issues, as long as people feel superior to you in some way, they're fine with you. A lot of people want you to be good, but not as good as them or better than them. And you got to realize that and separate yourself. Because let me tell you this, a person that only want to be, and I think friendship should be both ways. I think you should be with me when the gloom comes. I think you should be with me when the glory comes. I think that's important. You're my real friend. You know what I'm saying? However, I think we're so afraid of releasing people because we don't want to be lonely. You need to let some people go, especially people who don't celebrate with you. That's scary. You need people who celebrate with you. You know? You need people who actually celebrate with you. And celebrate for you. I love that when I got rid of that person because I don't want to take away from my own moments. Like God is going to keep doing things for me. let me say this. Like when you enter into a certain space in your life and you're obedient, you're faithful, you're showing up and all that, there are things that are just going to happen for you. Some things you won't even pray for, they'll just find you. That's how the favor of God is. And I don't want to be around people who diminish what God is doing in my life or make me feel like I can't talk about what he's doing. I'm not doing it. I don't want to be around you. And you need to separate yourself from stuff like that. I ain't saying cut them off, but some people need the access so they can be delivered from it, right? And when I say access, I don't mean up in your house chilling with you because they jealous and you don't want that kind of spirit. But I'm saying you don't got to cut everybody off because they're not yet where you are, if that makes any sense. And sometimes I've learned this. God will allow you to experience things so that you don't do it to the next person because you think it can't be you until you're winning and you're doing all this good stuff. And when your friends start doing something really good, it makes you feel like you don't necessarily want to be superior to them, but you have that comparison issue where you just want it for yourself. It's not that you don't want it for them, but and that'll show up in how that will be expressed in how you show up for them if you're not careful. So sometimes God is allowing us to experience things too, to not reveal what's in their hearts, but even to reveal what's in our hearts in our other relationships. So jealousy is very common and it's normal and we're human and it's a natural and normal emotion. Is what you do after that that is the issue. You know what I'm saying? What are your thoughts about friendships in our 55 plus community when people move to different cities and friendships change? What do you suggest? I suggest if it's your friends, you said, I guess it's like a community. So you said it's like, maybe it's like a group. Why don't y'all start a group meet or a group chat in whatever way you decide and meet up? My mother-in-law is 60. Her classmates wanted to get together. It started with like 50 something of them. Only 11 of them followed through, but the 11 of them still got together this last weekend. And I thought that was so beautiful. Because they were like, okay, all these other people fell out. They started by saying they were coming. Then they dropped out. They didn't do it, whatever. But I still want to participate. I still want to be a community. I still want to connect. And they all connected. And they had a blast. They had their food catered. They went outside. They went to church together on Sunday. They did all these things. And I think it's possible if you just plan. If you want connection and relationship, y'all, it just requires effort. It requires follow through. And I think as we get older, it becomes more challenging because typically we have more responsibility as we're getting older, right? Like me right now, I have my son in the picture now, so I'm not as flexible and available as I used to be. If somebody asked me to do something 16 months ago, I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, yeah. Okay, what's the date? Okay, let me look at the flights, whatever. Now I'm like, let me see if I can get somebody to watch BJ. That's not always the easiest. Stuff like that. However, I'm still making the effort. I'm still showing up where I can show up. And it's a blessing to me. And I miss BJ when I separate from him. I miss Brandon when I separate from him. But it's good for me to just be with my girls, just to be with my friends, just to have time, If that looks like me not necessarily being with my friends, but going to a coffee shop and, things like that, just to have some time, it's important. And I think you should prioritize that, like some time for yourself and time for your friends and your family. Yeah, friend, do a group meet. I think you would enjoy that. And I think your friends who will follow through will appreciate you doing it. Because sometimes we don't realize how much we need those moments of refreshment. We don't need those. We need that time to retreat. All right, I got time for another question. I think I took one from every platform. So let me go to TikTok. I'm in a space where those people I called a friend, their season has come to an end. And that is normal, right? That is normal. We won't do life with people. Sometimes we only do seasons with people. How do you decide to mend a friendship or let it stay dead? When you sit and assess how this relationship is, what is the fruit of this relationship? And I'm answering this from a believer perspective. Because I really believe there's power in the people that you're connected to. There are some things God will give you and won't give you because of the people that you're connected to. Okay. So I prioritize discernment and I assess the fruit of the relationship. What is this producing in my life? And yeah. I didn't mean to be so deep, but what is this producing in my life? I think that's worth you actually sitting and assessing and praying through. Sometimes relationships too may not necessarily be balanced, right? I go back to me being a new mom, right? There are friends, I'm sure, in my life who are showing up for me in a way or being more consistent than I am because of my newness. Every day I wake up, this is not an excuse, but every day I wake up, I am having to, take care of another human in every way. He can't do anything for himself. So I may used to text people in the morning, or send them a crazy voice memo. But now I may have friends who text me in the morning because they know that I'm already occupied and stuff like that. So having friends does not necessarily mean that the relationship will be balanced, but where you can show up and where you can make the effort, that's where it feels reciprocated, because you show up how you can show up, where you can show up, when you can show up. But pray about those people, because I think for me, when I start wondering if we're friends or not, we're not friends. Takesha Nash, good morning. What is the fruit of this relationship? What is it producing? Spiritually, naturally, physically. I'm not going to be arguing with you all the time. I'm not going to be trying to explain to you that, I'm doing good or I'm not doing good. Or I feel like I got to be doing bad in order for you to be comfortable with me. I got to be going through something. Me and Brandon got to be into it. And me and one of my closest friends, I don't want to be around people like that. I'm serious about that thing. I want to be around friends like this. When I first started my Patreon community, I had this in the mail that day. I broke down and started crying. My cup says boss lady, because I was entering into entrepreneurship. And my friend knew that it was a lot on me. I was filled with anxiety. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I got all these hundreds of thousands of people online by accident. Well, yeah, I'm just being honest with y'all. I just started doing what God told me to do. I didn't mean to become a thing. Like, what is happening right now? I'm from Mississippi, friend. What is happening? But my friend reminded me that God has called me to this. And you need friends who remind you that God has called you to a certain thing. You need friends that remind you that you are favored, that you are loved, that you are seen, that you are valued. And my friendships remind me that God sees me. And I highly recommend that you, especially if you're a believer, that you have friends that remind you that God sees you. Okay. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. There's an episode dropping right now on Patreon, patreon.com/YourFriendTrin. Come watch Friendfusion. Some of you may not even know what Friendfusion is. It is my talk show. Most people think it's a podcast, but it is indeed a talk show. And Friendfusion is a platform that is, the mission of it is to cancel culture. I like to talk to people who have, quote unquote, been canceled in some regard. I like to talk to the underdogs of this world. The mission of Friendfusion, again, is not just to cancel culture, but to teach other people how to value other people, to teach us how to value relationship, because life moves at the speed of your relationship. And if you just clicked on my live, you don't know what I'm talking about, what's going on. My word to you today is that life moves at the speed of your relationships. Everybody is not your enemy because they don't agree with you. You need to apologize. You need to fix some things. Stop creating a new narrative contrary to the one that you actually experience, because you're having insecurities that you need to deal with. Okay. And when you're in relationships with people who don't make you feel good about yourself, when they offer criticism, it is not constructive. Actually, it's destructive. They want you to feel bad about yourself. They have a superiority complex, things like that. You need to come out of those relationships, because life moves at the speed of your relationships. And if you're in close proximity to someone, or best friends, really close to somebody like that, you're going to limit yourself, because you're not going to want to do things because you're afraid that they will grieve your growth, or they will find you, achieving some things as an attack on them. You got to be careful when you're the Bible says iron sharpens iron. You got to be careful being connected to plastic, because iron would cut plastic. That is my word today, if you just clicked on this live. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm excited to see you join the Patreon community today. I'm excited to do life with you. I'm excited to meet you in real time tomorrow night when we meet there. So come on into the Patreon community, friend. It's patreon.com. Thank you. I appreciate that, CJ. That means a lot to me. I'm so glad you watched that episode. Yeah, there is a new episode of Friendfusion on YouTube with Kiara Sheard. I think you guys should go watch it. I think you would love it. It's called Confidence Without Permission, and I think you guys would love it. So yeah, go check it out, okay? I love y'all. I appreciate everybody so much. A new episode of Friendfusion is dropping right now on Patreon, so I need you to get over there, okay? Come on, friend. Come on. Patreon.com/